Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing home-baked or homemade savoury scones. Savoury because you can put anything in them. We're going to go with cheese and chive, and basically we've been to Dorset and we went to the West Bay tea rooms. We go there pretty much every year and we have a savoury scone, we have a fruit scone and a plain scone, and we share them and they're absolutely fantastic. So when we come back we always seem to make them, but what we also do whilst we're there, we buy, this is a cherry tree, spicy tomato and caramelised onion, and we buy that because at the West Bay tea rooms that's what they serve it with, along with sour cream and what is it Mrs. B? Sour cream and chive dip. Sour cream and chive dip. So you can make that yourself with sour cream, put chives in, or you can just buy sour cream and chive dip like we've done. So we're going to run through the ingredients. I'll let Mrs. B do that. They're all here. You're going to need a cutter. If you haven't got a cutter, you can use a cup or a glass, just really to cut down into the dough. We've got the ingredients here. We'll go to that now. Mrs. B will talk through the ingredients. I'll come back when Mrs. B going to bake in these. I'm going to be tasting them. So I've got the good bit here. So I'm going to be tasting. Mrs. B is going to now go and bake them. She'll run through the ingredients with you, and then we'll come back and we'll taste them. Okay, so these are the ingredients we've got here. We've got the oven set to 180 just to heat up. We've got a tray in there as well heating up, and we just put some like baking paper on there, so you do it how you want to do it, to be fair. So what have we got here then, Mrs. B? I'll point out when you tell us what's on the recipe for this.
Right, we have 225 grams of self-raising flour.
This one. Now we've gone with Dove's Farm white. You can have wholemeal if you want. It's totally up to you. It's your preference.
There is a pinch of salt and a pinch of cayenne pepper in that. There is 1 teaspoon of baking powder.
That's here.
55 grams of chilled butter cut into cubes. 120 grams of mature cheddar grated. Already
there.
And 90 to 100 mils. I've done 50 mils of milk and 50 mils of
live yogurt.
I lost it then.
And the additional we're going to add is
the chives.
If you've got them, if you're growing them, and add them in. You add them into the flour, don't you? Okay, into that mix. And then we're going to finish it off once it's baked with
the sour cream and chive dip and the spicy tomato and caramelised onion chutney.
And a cup of tea. Now I'll show you which tea we've got. We've had this tea loads of times when we come back from Dorset, but it goes really well. A Dorset brew with a savoury scone, cheddar cheese topped, the actual chutney, the sour cream. This you can make yourself. Really, just get some sour cream and put some chives in it if you want, or you can just buy it like this, like we have. So yeah, oh, don't forget the cutter. That's the other thing. So that's everything there. Mrs. B is going to put it all together. I'll try and show you, putting it together. Put it in the oven, then I'm going to be tasting it. Okay.
Right, I've already added a pinch of salt and a pinch of cayenne into this. I'm going to add the baking powder.
What's the baking powder do?
It makes it rise.
Helps rise.
Helps it rise. Yeah.
Even though it's self-raising flour, is it just to boost it?
Yeah, because you want them big.
I'm right thinking yogurt also does that, doesn't it? In this to help. That's why people use yogurt sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
It just activates it a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Butter, and then add the butter. And what you're going to do, it's supposed to be a bit colder than this, but I've left it out a bit too long. It's fine. You make breadcrumbs out of this. Sort of, you do it as quick as you can because the heat from your hands starts to melt. You're supposed to keep everything cold. So you want it to look something like this. So now add the cheese. I'm just going to add a handful of this because we like it to be generously topped. And the chives can go in now.
But you get your hands in that because they're all,
Yeah, they're all mucky anyway.
Yeah. That goes there.
So we'll give it a good mix.
I'm just going to stir your yoghurt and milk while you're doing it.
Go on in the centre. You don't sort of add it all at once because it might be too wet. So you just add it.
Want me to add it while you...
Yeah, please.
You tell me.
Just do about 3/4 of it.
What do you then? Spring it together?
Yeah, you want a sort of soft and firm dough, but you don't want it overly sticky.
Am I right in saying you're not supposed to overdo it with your hands? You know, at this point you're not supposed to over knead it because it won't rise very well?
Yeah.
A bit more?
Yeah. Yeah, you do it sort of as quick as you can.
So you bring it together, but you don't bring it too much together as in kneading it, because I'm not an expert on this, but I think it's something to do with it won't rise.
Yeah, it's the heat, because like I say, everything's supposed to stay as cold as you can. You're supposed to have like cold hands when you do it, and everything you use is supposed to be cold.
Yeah. So how long do these take to cook, bake, whatever you want to call it?
Not long. Sort of 15 minutes.
15 minutes, and then you can eat them warm, can't you?
Yeah.
You can eat these warm.
Yeah.
Do you need any more of
Just
this?
a tiny little bit. Right.
Are you happy with that?
Yep. I'm going to just lightly flour that. Can you do it for me?
Yep.
It's a bit.
So you want me to lightly flour the board?
Yeah.
See, I've got a good Salt Bay action there. There you go.
So you just bring it together with your hands.
It all depends on the size of the cutter as well, doesn't it? How many you get from this.
Yeah, because I've not got a clue at this moment in time how many I'm going to get. It's just...
Sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 5.
Yeah.
All depends.
Did you say it was about 2 centimetres? Ish.
Sort of. Doesn't matter, does it?
No.
Only has to be rough.
Right.
So do you have to flour that or anything?
Yeah. Just
What, the actual...
just a little, just so it doesn't stick on the inside.
What sort of...
Yeah.
In there? See, I like doing like I said, the Salt Bay stuff.
You just dip it in the flour bag.
That's a good idea. Dip it in the flour bag. There you go. That might be easier.
Right. And what you do, you press straight down, don't twist. If you twist, it apparently stops it rising.
Oh, made a noise as well.
It does.
Okay.
2.
So what do you do? Do you remold that then now?
Yeah.
Bring that together again?
Yeah.
Okay, 2. So, is that not doing too much kneading now?
Yeah, but...
You've got to be really cautious
Yeah,
about
you just be as sort of as gentle as you can.
Yeah.
I reckon we're not gonna...
So I can't move that. It's quite stuck to the board. Maybe we should have refloured it, shouldn't I?
No, it's fine. I'll just check it.
Do you put any butter? Sorry, not butter, milk or anything on them? Or what do you do?
You glaze with a little bit of milk.
You do glaze with a bit of milk?
Try and just keep it on the top though, because apparently if it drips down, that stops it. There's so much that can stop it rising.
Yeah, there's lots of things, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to get 4. You might get a little...
I'll just shape this one inside.
Yeah, you might get a 5th one there. Just an oddball one. Freehander.
Yeah.
It's just shit inside there. So that I don't doubt that one's going to rise. Because it's been handled loads.
Oh, the more you handle, the less it rises. And there's me just...
Yeah.
Right.
I have to remember which one it is. So now, what do? Do you go on a baking tray?
Yeah.
And then in the oven 180 for 15.
15 to 20 minutes, golden brown.
Right. Do you glaze them with what's left here?
Yeah, I'll just glaze.
And do you glaze them on the baking tray? Or do you glaze them there where they are on the board?
I'm going to glaze them on the baking tray, I think.
So do you want me to get the baking tray out of the oven?
Yeah, please. Right, I'm just going to glaze the top because all I'm really doing is helping the cheese to stick to the scones.
Take it, that's the hand free
Yeah,
one,
that's
the
the
free hander.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of cheese left over, isn't there?
Yeah, I could have put a bit more in.
But the thing is, every time you make them, they're different.
Yeah.
That's a good thing about this. Do you not? Is it not worth pushing them in then?
No, because it'll
Right.
condense the scone a bit, possibly too much. So, just pile on top. I mean, with the freehander, it doesn't really matter. And in the oven they go.
So now, to go in the oven, 180, 15 minutes, and then we'll come back to you. Okay, so here we go. That's the scones baked. As you can see, it's home baking, so they're not perfectly stood. That's slightly to an angle. Who cares? This one is the freeform one that Mrs. B did. Looks fantastic. It's just come out a bit. But look at them three. They'll be the first three, won't they? I bet.
Yeah.
More than likely they'll be the first three, and these ones where you've had to just a bit of a remold, but it doesn't matter, they still look fantastic. I know you can pick one. Do you want to pick one up and show it closer? So there you go. That's a cheese savoury scone, or scone. Now, people call them scones, we call them scones. We're Northern, and I think normally Northerners call them scones, but for some reason we call them scones, and pretty much all my family and Mrs. B's family call them scones as well. But Mrs. B is going to do now the test, and the test is they should split perfectly by your hands, so you can basically, that's where you're going to put like that. Now this is where you're going to put your tomato, onion, and your chive. So we'll come back when I've got that on the plate. Right, I'm just going to pour the hot water into the teapot. So we've got the Dorset tea here now ready. But just looking at this, you'd be more than happy if you got served this in a cafe, wouldn't you? You got the 5 scones, you got the pot of tea coming on, you've got the sour cream and chive sauce dip, whatever you want to call it, and you've got the spicy tomato caramelised onion chutney. Now, I just think it's superb. This is all homemade, home baking. Nice pot of tea to go in. That's going to brew for about 5 minutes. And just to show you as well, it says on here, just a nice touch, spread the love, cherry tree. We bought 3 jars of this, 3 for £10 in West Bay, but we think it's well worth it, we really do. So come back in a minute when they're ready, when the tea's ready, and we'll put one of these scones together and show you. Right, so Mrs. B's gonna make the scone, or scone, whichever way. And I'm gonna pour, I'm gonna give it a stir actually, the tea. Honestly, it goes so well with it. It goes well with a cream scone as well. That'll come next. We'll do some fruit scones, we'll do some plain scones. There you go, nice tea.
Now the question is, do you want both of them making up so you can eat them separate?
Yeah. So then, just pour, well, I'm literally going to drop some milk in here. I don't like my tea really milky. There we go, there's the tea. There's the scones, or scone. I'm going to keep saying it because I don't want you to all argue with me.
I'll just argue instead.
So come back and I'll put my face back on camera. There you go then. I think that's really easy. Now, that's the reward. I don't know if you can see that very well on there, but that's the reward for it. So you've got the cheese and chive scone, or scone. I don't know, however you want to say it. It's one of them regional things. It's like a barm cake. I have barm cakes. People have baps. We was in Dorset and it was a mac on a bap, but it was a mac on a barm for me. So it's all made up there. Now I'm going to taste it. I've got me lovely cup of tea to go with it as well, because it goes so well. But it's still warm, which is fantastic. Actually, I'm going to pick the top one, because the top one, as you can just about see, it's got that cheese on top as well. Well, on the bottom now as it is. Because you could put them together and make like a sandwich bit of them. But I think you're best eating them separate. Okay, I'm going to dive in. Oh my god. That is amazing. They really are. There you go. There's the cheese and chive in there. Cheese on the bottom. The chutney. The sour cream. That is brilliant. It really is. That's in there. And that cup of tea just goes perfect. What can I say? Okay. I'll put the recipe below in the description. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.